You've been involved in the wine industry for a long time, and I'm curious.
40 years
40
this year. Yeah.
Wow. What keeps you excited and passionate and interested in doing this and not something else? Because,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, I'm doing something else. I make CDs.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
Just coming out with the fourth and working on the fifth.
Fourth, my lord.
So that sort of enriched my life because, for a long time, the music was sort of, I put it away.
Right. Sure.
You know, and so it's fun to get back to it. But in wine, there's two things that really turn me on about wine now. One is my wine cellar. You know, wines I've imported, I've been putting them aside. In the early days, of course, there'd be one bottle of something because I started out broke.
Right. Sure.
Started out with money borrowed from my girlfriend. So it was rough. And then I got to where I could put 2 or 3 of the ones I really liked. And finally, I put a whole case of Coche de Riz away one year. You know, it was like that.
Right. Sure.
And now it's under my house, and I have that pleasure of going down. And it's like, you know, wines for me, I always compare them to people. It's like a friend with certain characteristics. I'm not much into berries and cherries and grapefruit wine and all these weird things that people find that I don't. To me, they're like, they're humanized in my mind. So it's like visiting an old friend and seeing what's going on. You know, how's he aging?
Right. Yeah. Cool.
Like that.
No, that's actually really cool. I mean, I think, you know, as a retailer, you know, I work in a retail store, right, as well as making music. So for me, it's neat to hear that somebody as important to the wine industry in the U.S. and as you are has a big cellar and collects like that. That's exciting.
Everybody thinks it's big. I know.
Well, no, there can always be more. Believe me, I wish I had more room for wine in my life, you know, to fit it in my place. Cool. So that's
okay. The other thing is still that thrill of discovering something new. That keeps me going.
Yeah, sure.
In fact, over the years, I've been very good at delegating authority to my employees. And,
clearly.
Yeah, and so today I do really what keeps me excited, and that's about it, you know. And that's what keeps me excited is finding new wines.
Cool.
Especially in places where they're not expected to be found. That's driven me from the beginning. When I was going to Burgundy, you know, you're comparing the Grand Crus with the Premier Crus and all that. And Jacques Cess from Domaine Dujac told me about his trip where he tasted a Joguet Chinon. And I just canceled my ticket and went to Chinon. I was like,
wow, yeah.
Wow, and nobody knows about this. The Chinon, the people I visited, had never seen an import.
Right, sure.
You know, there's that thrill of like a...
Yeah.
You know?
I know lately in New York, that's been very successful with Abatucci. Abatucci has caught on in a big way in New York. We carry some. I know a couple of other stores really carry it. He's a great guy, and the wines are really exciting, and they're pretty new to your portfolio, if I'm not mistaken.
This is the second year.
Second year, yeah. So that's kind of cool, and it leads directly into question number 2, which is, we'll do them out of order, but okay. What the next big wine area you see is, if you can reveal such proprietary...
If I have any success, it'll be Corsica. But see, you all are late, because the French Wine Review 4 months ago said the most exciting wine region in France today is Corsica. Yeah. And you Americans are all, Corsica? Is that, where is, you know?
Where?
Sardinian wines are all over the place. Sicilian wines are all over the place.
Yeah.
Why is it? Because they are politically part of Italy, and Corsica's not French.
Right.
My growers are Abatucci, Mastracci, Lynch, Arena.
Right. Yeah. Sure. I have to tell you that I had Arena.
I can't get them on an Italian wine list.
No, but you can get them on a French wine list, because I had it at Le Bernardin, and it was unbelievable.
Yeah. It's a political decision not to do it. It doesn't have anything to do with the wines or the taste of the wines. Okay, don't get me carried away.
Right.
Anyway, Corsica is my answer.
Corsica is the answer to that.
There are certain
Beautiful
terroirs there, like Patrimonio.
Right.
decomposed oyster shell, just like Chablis.
Right.
You can walk in the vineyard and pick up a fossil of oysters. And so they plant Vermentino in that, and then they plant Niruchu, which is the descendant of the Sangiovese.
Yeah.
And you are getting Vermentino like you've never tasted before.
Right.
It's a Vermentino that if they let it do its malolactic, you would compare not to the little lovely ones that I drink all the time, but from Sardinia, for example, the Vermentinos, or along the Italian coast.
Right.
You're going to compare it to a Chablis or a white Burgundy.
Right.
Without any more.
Right. No, they're beautiful wines. I've been very impressed. Okay, so brings us to question number 3, which is this idea of natural wine and the term natural wine and what you think about that. And I know, for me, I work in New York, right? Yeah. We are led by the fearless Miss Alice Firing here, so we have a common definition among the industry people, the younger particularly industry people, and a passion for those wines, and we all have sort of an understood definition. This is not the case nationwide, much less worldwide, for sure, so I'm aware of that. So I'm curious what you think about that terminology and marketing stuff of that.
Well, okay, I have a lot to say about it, but I'll try to make it short because we don't have much time.
Right.
I'm the first one who brought in the wines of Jules Chauvet.
Right.
The no sulfur, the others are disciples.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
I imported that wine. But I lose points with all of these people because I'm not dogmatic and I'm not a true believer in anything. People call me, he's a nut about filtration, He only imports unfiltered. That's not true. That's not true.
I know it's not true.
If I find a great filtered wine, I'm going to buy it. I'm not dogmatic.
Right.
Now, I've lost my place on these. We've got a natural wine list, and there's no Kermit Lynch wines. I find that really bizarre.
Yeah,
really
it's bizarre.
And it must be because I'm not dogmatic. And they think I've sold out because I do import wines that are made with sulfur. I'll tell you, I did that consciously because you need a little sulfur if you want a correct wine. Now, I was at a restaurant the other night and I went through the list. It was one of those so-called natural wine lists. There were 4 growers on there that I imported during the history of my business.
Right.
I gave each one of them up because I couldn't sell those wines. I tried for 3-4 years. I finally would give them up because this one's exploding. This is full of Brettanomyces. This is, they need a little. If you just do a little bit of SO2, like I do at Pallier, my wine, just enough, you can't smell it, you can't detect it. It's not dangerous. Your wine is stable enough to drink.
Or to ship, importantly, as well.
The shipping, a lot of those natural winemakers, like LaPierre used to say this, I love him, but it used to drive me crazy.
Right.
Keep this wine under 12 degrees centigrade.
How do you do that?
What are you talking about? How are you going to get it anywhere? Even buy it from him and put it in your car and get it home, it's going to get more than 12 degrees.
That's right.
Let's get serious about this.
Right. Yeah. No, that's totally true.
Okay, we're going to sell it in Alaska.
Great, but you got to get it there first.
Identify it and sell it in Alaska.
Yeah.
Ben, you've reached your 10-minute limit.
Oh, okay.